One of the big questions is, what is money?
For practical purposes, it exists in a series of heterogeneous databases, very different databases.
Do you believe in crypto?
Digital currency may be an answer, but it is the highly speculative asset.
I do own Bitcoin.
There is no second best.
Welcome to the Crypto Curious podcast. Every Wednesday, we dive into the dynamic world of cryptocurrency. If you're new to crypto, we recommend starting with our early episodes where we break down the basics and give you a solid foundation to understand the crypto world. And for the crypto curious, the seasoned addict, or the industry insider, we're here to help you unpack the latest digital news. On the show this week, Ethereum is back. Was it because of this Pectra power price surge? We'll chat about that. Also, Celsius founder Alex Mashinsky was sentenced to 12 years in prison. Lastly, AI agents are coming for DeFi, but our wallets are the weakest link. My name's Tracy, and as always, I'm joined by my co-hosts Blake and Craig, bringing you this week's news. Hey, boys, welcome to the show.
Hey, Trace. Great to be back. Craig, how you doing?
Very good, guys. Looking forward to this episode. We're back in the green. And by the way, if you've been looking at Bamboo's socials, I've put a sticker on a very prominent Australian Sydney beach, Coogee Beach, actually. You know what? It's at Coogee Beach. If you find it, take a photo, upload it, you win $100 in Bitcoin. So you're loyal enough to be listening to the show, which means I'm just going to give you the alpha of where it is. So jump on and have a look for our Coogee listeners.
And we'll get Craig out there again this week, putting a sticker somewhere else, folks. So definitely stay tuned to the socials. But as we said, it's been an exciting week. And Craig, you're quite happy, aren't you? Because your darling Ethereum's done well.
Yes, done very well. It's up 40% since we last did the show 7 days ago. And this is due to what people think is the Pectra upgrade. So that's the third big upgrade they've done since the merge. It's been called out as the most ambitious one yet. And it went off without a hitch, which gave the whole market a bit of a lift. It also aligned with some of the bullish comments from Trump last week. But Ethereum, for the first time, and I feel like all cycle, has actually outperformed its other tokens in the top 10. So very good news for the ETH maxis in the room, like me and you, Trace.
Thoughts, Blake?
Yeah, so Ethereum had a major upgrade in the last week called the Pectra upgrade, which had a lot of improvements, easy withdrawals, quicker improvements for developers, building wallets. So a few good things here. But as well as that, it looks like the F Bitcoin pair has bottomed. And what that means is the relative value of Ethereum compared to Bitcoin reached an all-time low. And as a result, there was relative value in Ethereum compared to Bitcoin. And we saw a lot of rotation of Bitcoin into Ethereum in the last week.
So like we said up the top then, I think it's been we've had a slight pullback today, time of recording, but we have had a 32% increase in the last 7 days. I think it's been around 55% the last month. And we're sitting at the moment at $2,400 US. And for the Aussies listening, that's 3,800 Australian dollars. So finally, a little bit of movement for Ethereum from those points that we've just spoken about there. What about the ETF flow, Blake or Craig?
Yeah, well, the ETF flows aren't catching up, which kind of tells me it's a retail-led rally. But the Ethereum staking ETF is due to have a decision, I believe, this month or next month, which I think will assist with the institutional inflow. But not only Ethereum-based tokens like Pepe, Virtuals, Uniswap have all popped as well. So it seems like the retail bid has come to Ethereum. And I know people are talking about Ethereum potentially going to 10K, which is, I swear this happens every cycle. Don't know if it will this cycle, to be honest, just because it's been such a lagger the whole time. But as Blake mentioned, it's sort of hopefully means we've put a bottom in for Ethereum against Bitcoin, which means Ethereum could have a bit of a period of outperformance. Let's hope so.
That's right. And what we mean by Ethereum staking ETF is that you'll be able to generate a yield from your Ethereum ETF of about 3% per annum, which will attract many investors.
Okay, well, let's leave it there. But some great news for Ethereum there, and looks like the tides have changed slightly. But it's nice to see some conversation back on Ethereum because it has been a long time. Let's move now to our second story. Another major name from the last cycle has officially gone down. Alex Mashinsky, the founder of former CEO of Celsius Network, has been sentenced to 12 years behind bars after pleading guilty to fraud charges, making him one of the most high-profile crypto execs to be jailed following the collapse back in 2022. Blake, do you want to tell us or remind us exactly who Alex and Celsius is?
Yeah, Celsius was an app where you could deposit your crypto and generate a return on it, whether it was USDC, Bitcoin, Ethereum, or many others. And they did this by generating a yield, often in risky DeFi protocols. They had so much capital, I think they had billions and billions of dollars, and they ended up having a deficit. And as a result, they went bust. And in July 2022, many people had to line up to try and get their share of their cash back. I'm not sure what percentage people got back. I think people got cash back, but people did take a haircut. And as a result of this, at the time, I think Mashinsky took out about $50 million from the app in his own account. So he had to forfeit that as part of his sentence. And as well as that, he got 12 years in prison.
I'm surprised it's taken this long. This is like almost 3 or 4 years after it blew up. But yeah, it seems like all of the old characters from the last cycle, SBF, Do Kwon, which was the Luna guy, and Alex Mashinsky, all getting the time in prison.
Just had a look here. So apparently they got back 79% of what was owed. Yeah. And look, I do know there were quite a few Aussies out there and some friends of the show who were affected by this, who had some money in Celsius. So this is an interesting one because that is a lot of time. I don't know. I haven't read whether that would be, I mean, he'll get good behaviour and come out a lot earlier than that, but it's certainly a bit of a warning to other crypto execs out there for doing the wrong thing. Okay, look, let's move on to our third story now. There's a new wave coming in DeFi, and that's decentralised finance out there for anyone just joining the party. And it's been driven not by degens or different DAOs out there, but it's by AI and its smart agents. They're starting to run strategies, optimize yields, and exec strategies on chain. We've spoken about that in some other episodes of the podcast as well. But these things can all be done while you're sleeping. So basically making you money and doing things for you while you sleep. But there's been a problem that's picked up with this, and that is that the wallet infrastructure that we rely on isn't quite ready for this step forward yet, boys.
Yes, it's like we've got Teslas on the road, but we're still building gravel tracks. These AI agents can do anything from rebalancing your portfolio to buying meme coins to getting yield on random chains. But as you mentioned, most of the wallets that we've got currently can't really verify what they're doing and making sure that it's safe. And I think it's a broader conversation of wallets in general. I think wallet infrastructure in regards to Phantom and MetaMask, I think it's time we moved on. I know Infinex, the app that Kane is the founder of, he was on that show a few weeks ago. They've now brought in Infinex Connect, which is going to be pass keys instead of seed phrases, which I think is the obvious next step. But the next step after that, Trace, as you made a good point, would be AI agents, smart wallets, where you can sort of auto-sign and give permissions to the AI bot. But that also comes with some risk, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, at the moment, you have to click signing transactions. You have to click to confirm transactions. You have to do this multiple times, put passwords in, and it's native. It's built for humans. But being digitally native, I think they need to create better infrastructure so that you can delegate these tasks to an agent to follow your instructions. And yeah, I think this has a lot of risks. You don't want your AI agent to be hallucinating when it's making your trades. So, I think there's a lot of work to be done here, but I think it's a little bit of a glimpse of the future.
Well, we even saw recently the AIXBT bot on Twitter that we've spoken about before. He actually got spooked into giving away 55.5 Ethereum. And that was just by people replying to him and sort of coercing him to give funds to a compromised wallet. So yeah, it definitely comes with its risks, but yeah.
So my question is, how far away are we from this actually happening?
How far away? I think obviously the AI agents are moving pretty quickly, but the wallet infrastructure, I imagine, will take some time to catch up.
That's what I mean. I think you talked about Infinex maybe pushing forward. Maybe there's people out there we don't know about, but it just seems like that the AI agents are there now and we're not quite ready for it? Does that spell disaster, or is it something where we just have to wait for them to catch up?
Whoever solves that problem will do very well.
We shall keep an eye on that. We've got these smart bots, but now we need some smarter wallets, so we need to stay safe there. I think we will go for a break, but before we do, folks, get excited. We have got something for you dropping later this week. We're all excited. Hopefully you crypto people are excited as we are, because we are sitting down with one of our all-time favourites, Ben Cowan. He's a fan favourite, like I said, of all of us, and he's a fan favourite in the crypto world, known for his sharp cycle calls and straight-laced analysis. In this chat, we're going to put some big questions to him because we're doing this tomorrow, folks. Why has he been so down on Ethereum over the past 12 to 18 months? Are we actually getting an alt season? And what is his take on where we're going from here? You won't want to miss this one. It's going to be out this Friday. That is Ben Cowan from Into the Cryptoverse. All right, folks, we'll be back after the break with some short, sharp news bites. All right, folks, welcome back. You're listening to the Crypto Curious podcast. Time now for our short, sharp news bites brought to you by the Bamboo app. Okay, look, first up, we are following on from last week's conversation where we mentioned Doodles and the Dude launch. And we did tell you last week we thought it was going to be any moment now. And as it turned out, we were right. It was within 24 hours of us breaking that story. Craig and I did actually do the DGen thing and stayed up last Friday night till 11 o'clock Sydney time for this Dude airdrop because we both had the Dude NFTs. We watched this unfold in real time, Craig, didn't we?
Yes, we did. We had a conference call. It was very professional. And look, 2025 and people are still messing up airdrops. It definitely wasn't the smoothest ride. We got our tokens about 30 minutes late. By the time we got our tokens, it had already dumped, and the floor price for Doodles, which was around 3 Ethereum at the beginning of the airdrop, went down. Did it go down to 0.8? It just...
Nah, I didn't go that far. It was 1. You called it because we actually, what did we get in at 1.5? And you were like, it's going to go to 1. And I was like, you're crazy. But then it did. So
it was a typical case of how not to do an airdrop. The holders like me and you, Trace, we pretty much got stitched up because we got tokens 30 minutes later and they were already on all the major exchanges and the price is dumping in real time as we don't even have our tokens yet. There's a lot of buzz still around Doodles in regards to DreamNet, which was their AI content play.
Just today they've announced a little program that they're doing on DreamNet involving more NFTs you have to buy. So I'm a little bit skeptical, to be honest.
Yeah, look, I do have a sour taste in my mouth. And
I'm salty. I'll say it.
I do rock the Doodles PFP on a few channels and I am considering dumping them for greener pastures.
I already dumped. Oh, yeah, I got out.
You dumped?
As soon as it went up again to 1.8. So anywho, yes, like you said, it wasn't the party we hoped for, but some of us are still holding. I haven't dumped my tokens yet because I'm hoping for something there. But again, not a great example of a token launch. What's up next in our short, sharp new bite?
I'll go next. So Solana meme coin Mudang pumps 530% amid macro hopium. There's a bit of a meme coin renaissance happening actually. Mudang, Pepe was up, and Mog. Did you guys see Mog last week? So Mog did this Twitter trend where they put sunnies on your profile picture. Elon actually did it, which completely sent Mog. It's still down bigly from all-time high, but it just shows that the OG memes, there is still a bit of fight left in the dog.
I don't know, but I didn't know Bigley was a saying either, but down Bigley's cool. Okay.
So yeah, meme coins, the OG meme coins have found some more love. So let's see if they can keep going or if it's just a dead cat bounce.
Yeah, here we go. What's next? Some more broader news, Blake?
Yeah, we got a couple of stories here with respect to Coinbase. So they're joining the S&P 500 after Bitcoin breaks $100,000 and they posted really strong quarterly earnings, about $2 billion. And as a result, they'll be joining the S&P 500. They're still pretty far down from their stock price peak in 2021, but I think it's overall looking pretty positive for Coinbase. And they've just put in a bid to acquire Deribit. Now, for those that don't know, Deribit is the major options exchange or derivatives exchange for crypto and they were originally based in Panama, now based in the UAE. They have been acquired for $700 million in cash and 11 million Coinbase shares. They do $1.2 trillion in trades last year, and I think that this is really concreting Coinbase as potentially being able to be the biggest crypto exchange in the world eventually, yeah.
Just on the Coinbase joining the S&P, why that's a big deal is that now with the S&P 500, that's going to be everyone's retirement. Every fund manager that's buying the S&P is now forced to buy Coinbase, and there's reports that it's going to 7x the daily trading volume into the coin stock. So that's a really big deal. And I think they were almost joined it like a few months ago, but now that they've posted consecutive positive quarters, they're in now officially.
What's the price at the moment?
It's at 207, up 4%, but its all-time high was around 350 or something. So it's still not an all-time high just yet.
Wow. Okay. So it's still got some time to go. Interesting. Next up, Vice President JD Vance will speak at this year's Bitcoin 2025 event in Las Vegas, marking the first time a sitting US Vice President headlines a crypto conference. The announcement follows last year's appearance by then presidential candidate Donald Trump at the Bitcoin in Nashville, where he pledged his support and made quite a lot of fanfare, saying never sell your Bitcoin. Vance is a long-time crypto supporter with ties to Peter Thiel. He also previously disclosed personal Bitcoin holdings during his Senate run. So everyone will probably be very excited to see JD, like I said, long-term supporter.
Last one now, Meta. I feel like every bull market, Meta wants to come back to crypto. We had Libra a few years ago, then we had the Metaverse. They're in talks with crypto firms to integrate existing stable coins into platforms like Instagram and WhatsApp. Didn't they integrate NFTs in Instagram last cycle and then they stopped it? So this is low-key top signal, but the move comes amid stalled US regulation, which is the fail of the Genius Act. What is that?
We probably could go into that a little bit. That's been all across the news this week. It's the Stablecoin Act. So it's the first to get their stablecoin approved. Arkansas are looking at it at the moment.
Well, I think this makes a lot of sense, particularly around WhatsApp competing with Telegram. And obviously Telegram is very much crypto-centric. So this wouldn't surprise me if they started to embed some of those stable coins into those platforms. Let's see how it goes.
Okay. That would be it, I think, for our episode this week. Always loads of news. We'd love for you to bring a friend with you along if you're enjoying the podcast, or even give us a like and a share wherever you're listening to us right now. Till then, stay curious, stay connected. You can do this by joining our Facebook group or Instagram page. We also have a weekly crypto newsletter. The details around that one will be in the show notes below. Make sure you are hitting that subscribe button, like I said. And if you're looking to dollar cost average into the crypto market, have a look at the Bamboo app. You can always use the code CURIOUS for $10 of free Bitcoin to get you started. There's also a link for that one in the show notes below. Thanks for joining, everybody. Bye for now. See you later.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.